Hello, one and all. My name is Corey, and you're here with me now. Welcome back to new number ones for the week of April the 1st, 2026. And the pick for the week is Pop Kill by Mad Cave Studios, written by Dave Johnson and Jimmy Palmiotti, with art by Juan Santacruz. So, the premise for this book is very simple. What if the soda war from the 1980s and 90s was real and had a body count? Our main character is John Pyle, who is a man for hire, kind of a James Bond sort, who is employed by one of the soda companies to make sure that their company stays on top and the others fall behind by any means necessary. So, as you can tell from the premise alone, this is a kind of an absurd book in the sense that it is a soda war. Our very first scene features John breaking into a company facility for the rival soda company and contaminating their supply and forcing a mass recall. It also results in the death of two security guards who happen to be working at this heavily armed facility. That's what we're aiming for here. Like I said, it's very absurd. Uh, John is sort of a caricature of a James Bond. The second scene we meet him in, he's quite literally being woken up from underneath a pile of nude women who he works for some company called The Board, who, the premise is that they pay him to make sure that their wives are satisfied. So, he's so reluctant because he has to sleep with all these beautiful women. But yes, like I said, he's very much a James Bond sort. And the premise of the book being what it is, our main storyline is that there is a leak from the rival company that they have developed a formula that will make the carbonation on their soda last longer, and therefore putting all of their soda companies in danger. So John has been tasked with finding out what that formula is and making sure that it never sees the light of day. So writing wise is phenomenal. Again, Palmiotti and Jimmy Palmiotti is someone who I'm incredibly familiar with. His work with DC Comics in particular is amazing. He excels with sort of this tongue in cheek kind of stuff. It's always a little sexy. It's always fun. It's always absurd. When he wants to be Jimmy is amazing. That's just simply the case. Dave Johnson is someone who I'm more familiar with his work as a cover artist than a writer. Uh, Phenomenal artwork. I know there's several covers of this that are his. This cover that I have here is from an artist by the name of Tula Latoy. Latay. So it is not a Dave Johnson piece, but I assure you check out his work in the world of the art as well as the writing in this book. Art wise, very serviceable. Nothing to complain about there. So John is an established character. We know what his deal is. We get that across incredibly quick. He is sort of your charming ladies' man who, will do whatever he can do for the fee that he's been promised. He can kill, he will sleep and seduce, he will spy and be stealthy. Very well established. The world is also, like I said, this is a world where soda companies are in a cutthroat war with each other, where people die regularly. Like we get an idea that the owners of both companies, by the way, are two formerly conjoined twin brothers. So it's personal and it's a family thing between the two of them, and they're very ruthless. I mean, when the brother of the rival company is introduced, he forces a guard to either shoot himself in the head or have his men do it for him. Because he failed and they lost billions of dollars in contaminated soda. So yeah, I mean it's just a fun story. It's very nice. The other thing about it is there enough meat on the bone here for an issue two, and there absolutely is. We're very quickly introduced to a third distant rival who may also be entering this game to figure out who's going to develop the long-lasting fizz formula and make sure that it never happens. So that being said, there's a caveat here. I love Mad Cave Studios. I've been a big fan of what they've been doing with the Dick Tracy series, the Phantom series, Speed Racer. They have taken these really established properties and given them a nice little twist that makes them unique again. Like with Dick Tracy, it's more of a hard crime story. It's not the Warren Buffett, very heavy in imagery movie from the early '90s with Madonna. It's also the Speed Racer series are played straight. The anime influence is still a little bit there, but it is again played very straight, very serious, very crime focused as well. So Mad Cave Studios is sort of carving out this niche for themselves. That being said, Pop Kill is technically a reprint. This story came out in its entirety back in 2020, 2021 through a smaller publisher, I think called Paper Kill. And they're basically just re-releasing this on a monthly basis until they've covered all 4 issues. So if you wanted to read all of Pop Kill, then you could do that by getting the trade if you could find one from this old publisher. If not, you could just pick up the weekly series as well. So that's kind of what I wanted to just point out and call out, because this is a $6.99 issue comic. It's a little pricey for what is essentially a reprint, but it does get Pop Kill in front of a larger audience than it previously had back in the pandemic era. That being said, I would recommend Pop Kill. It's very fun. Palmiotti is a fucking pro, as is Dave Johnson, and it reads absolutely like that. So that being said, we just had our episode on the issues with Marvel Comics canceling their cosmic titles. Next week's next episode is going to feature more discussion on Marvel Comics and sort of the problems that we as readers are having with it. Essentially, just not having any enthusiasm, anything exciting, any trust in the creative teams to like develop and build something. Everything has to be instant or it's a failure, and that's kind of just the way it's been going. So check that out next week, at the end of the week when it comes out. Come back here again for another new number 1. But until then, my name is Corey. I'll see you guys later.